Travis Wayne Goodsell. 9/11. The day when Mormons celebrate John D. Lee's life and legacy. (9/11, 1857, Mountain Meadows Massacre). But the biggest story last night that was all over the world was Taylor Swift. You didn't seriously think I was gonna say the debate, were you? So the prophecy is fulfilled, in case anybody cares. Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are true. It's just not Mormon true. Let's see if I can find the picture. Should have had this all up before. I didn't. Tragedy. It's most likely. So, last night at 9 p.m. till 9/11, weird. Lightning was striking. I was lying in my bed watching the bedtime TV show, The Rookie, and I was seeing white flashes at my window, and it didn't make any sense to me as, there it is, as it was not fitting the pattern of vehicles, and it was so frequent that it was disturbing me, and so I had to check it out. Sure enough, lightning. Not the meteor showers, which that would have been really cool. Lightning and meteor showers merged into one, and yet it was. Because we got the Perseid meteor showers that have been going on since Nelson's birthday, peaking. And so that's just what the scriptures call stars falling from heaven. They are fiery darts. And they came from Perseus, Mr. Clash of the Titans, where Medusa's head is. So yeah, like I've been doing the countdown, for which YouTube is taunting me now, not posting my videos to that playlist that's listed on my home page for people. They gave up after the Red Rum video, and they're stopping. They're not adding the videos to that playlist anymore. This is a pattern of criminal practice by YouTube that's been going on for years, because we're in the countdown to conference, and YouTube knows that this is when I get the most views. And several years back, when I began the practice of doing prediction videos for conference, and those would get thousands of views when all was said and done after the aftermath. And of course you'd get those Mormons who don't know and understand. They come to one video, they take it literally, and don't understand the church's linguistic patterns. And so no, everything that I do predict actually did happen. Just Mormons are purposely redefining meanings of words to deny and lie as proof of the truth. And And so, yes, YouTube purposely cyber terrorizes me on my own channel to taunt me to the point where I file complaints, and then YouTube says, well, okay, fine, if you're going to complain, then we're going to cyber terrorize you and ban you from posting videos, and thus ruin my viewing for conference. It's a pattern of practice that's been going on. That's why I have the two channels, TWG and this one, was because of this cyber terroristic practice of YouTube. And it's a Mormon employee that's involved because nobody else cares about the church. And so, yeah, the church has ordered, and I've already established this years, guys, 8,000 videos, 4 for each, as this channel has just surpassed 4,000 videos. And so the prediction that I made, prophecy in religious speak, happened. It's going on right now. The baptism of fire from 1 Kings chapter 18 verse 38, as I'm using the picture of the reference, I don't memorize, happened on 9/11. This is 9/11. Remember what happened last year on 9/11? Yeah, Nelson, because of the countdown that I did last year, refused to release the information about what happened on 9/11 last year because of me and my countdown. Purposely, maliciously, to prevent Mormons from knowing that I'm a true prophet. That I made a prediction, and it happened. And it was humiliating for him. And he finally had to release it 3 weeks later. Because conference was coming in the coming days. And it's sad because the video I did yesterday, that's a breakout video already, it's been less than a day, immediately rushed to have 3 thumbs down. These are Mormons who refuse to acknowledge the truth that Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are Jewish. To refuse to acknowledge that the lies that this church is telling us, claiming Christianity, means that this church is evil. And so, this morning, I also had a dream. And in that dream, I woke up at 3 o'clock from. So it's not real. It's a dream. Happened in my head while I was dreaming, REM state. There are people who purposely want to claim that a vision or a dream is an occurrence that actually happens. And they base their whole truth of their religion on it. Right, Hinkley? Yes, Joseph Smith's visionary accounts. Ta-da! They never happened, but this church demands and insists that literal history truth that must be believed by everyone, as it keeps changing over time, is literally true. And so, Expo Nevermose gets suckered into the lies of Brigham Young and the changing narrative of church history because of that. They know the church is lying, but they believe the church's updated lie. post their videos. Church confesses Joseph used a rock and a hat. And I keep trying to do my videos. Remember, 8K. Joseph Smith had nothing to do with any part of the composition of the Book of Mormon. Nope, not John Kidd, not the Captain Kidd books, not View of the Hebrews, nothing. It was only the major author of the Book of Mormon and the one who had to rewrite the 116 pages. 8K videos, guys. I should not have to repeat it, but because of YouTube's abuse of me, this may be your first video of mine that you have witnessed and watched. And so you're confused, you don't understand, you thought the church was true. Or you believe the lies that Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are false. So, in the dream, as we're 11 minutes in, so the sensitive snowflakes have already left and put their thumbs down. You need to understand, these guys are also MAGA lovers. Nobody understands Trump, despite Trump himself having published his whole plot. The art of the deal. Nobody's getting it. The deep state Dem press keeps saying, Trump has lied. Oh, he's broken the record for the most lies ever. Oh, he used a Sharpie to lie. Oh, we're fact-checking him. And even Fox, they're falling for the con, diverting away from what Trump is actually doing. As they say, nobody fact-checked Kamala. ABC didn't fact-check Kamala Harris. Oh, this is abominable. You have to equally fact-check her as you fact-check Trump. This is not fair. Kamala Harris didn't say that Ohioans were eating animals, their pets. Or that babies are being executed at the border. Or after they're born, I guess. You don't understand what Trump is doing. He is not crazy. He's not lying, per se. This is his tactic that he says he does. He gives orders. He demands people to obey him. So when he says, you need ID to go grocery shopping, he's ordering the nation to require ID to go grocery shopping. When he says it's the oranges of the investigation, after watching my post on my website that I had back then, he wants oranges to be investigated. This is what he's doing. When he has people use the Sharpie to extend in a different direction a hurricane, he says, this is what the hurricane needs to do. You're not getting it. And so what he's saying is he's demanding that people execute babies to prove that he's telling the truth. He demands that Ohioans eat their pets to prove that he is true. He's giving orders. You know, the more obvious one was in the other debate that he had back in 2020 to white supremacists, stand back and stand by. That was an obvious order, but it's under the same pattern. Nobody gets that. You have to pay attention to what he says. He means everything. He wants it done. And if he gets in, it will happen. He will order it, and people must obey him. And he will put people in who will obey him now. He has learned his lesson. He knows what he can get away with, and he can turn America into a monarchy. And Mormons who vote for him, oh my God, they spit on Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. They know the story of the kingmen who sought to overthrow the Constitution of Mosiah, and Captain Moroni who went to save the day at the Capitol. You know, nowhere will Mormons read that Captain Moroni went to the Capitol in Zarahemla to smear poop on the walls. And for people who still believe that that's okay, these guys are pure evil. Mormons. As mass murders are going on this year at an escalated rate. The murdering of children. See, Mormons are obeying Trump. So, but I'm very curious, now that Taylor Swift has endorsed Harris, I'm very curious to actually see the election. To find out if Utah is going to become blue state for once in its entire existence since the days of it being the KKK Democrats. Wouldn't that be fascinating? And so, yeah, when you hear the press talk about how Utah used to be Democratic, they're lying to you. Pay attention. It's pre-World War II. They were the KKK back then. And so Utah being Democrat still makes them fascist. Nobody thinks. Nobody thinks. They forget about the McCarthy Red Scare. So, the dream. As we further chased away people, purging you from my videos. You purge yourself. Irene was in the dream. President Irene. And he wanted to lay his hands upon my head. I was not wanting to be around him. But he was insistent that he had to lay his hands upon my head for something. And then the number 15 was repeated. And so I'm searching all this morning for the last 3 hours, trying to figure out what it meant. The Jewish Kabbalistic practice of gematria indicates that the number 15 is associated with the Hebrew god Yah. So Ishmael, that's the guttural there. I don't do gutturals, and it's not The original Paleo-Hebrew is not phonetic, it's pictures, visionary language. You're supposed to look at it and go, oh, cool. And so the name of Yah is the sun god. Yes, I am a translator too, not just a prophet, not just a revelator, not just a seer having visions and dreams, but I'm also a translator. Again, demonstrating you beyond the three necessary to establish me as a fact. And so, there are 15 apostles of the great abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it was Irene. Which means, I'm supposed to check this and I didn't check this. And now it's time for me to check this and I didn't check this. And I don't know if it's in here or if it's even labeled correctly for me to easily find it. And age and rank came and went. There we go. Yep, he's number 4, which means in order for him to have authority to do such an act would mean that Nelson, Oakes, and Holland are gone bye-bye. In order for him to be the ranking authority in the church that only goes up to Peter, James, and John's keys, not the keys of the president of the church that Joseph Smith founded, which are the Christ keys. Moses, man like Moses, done the videos, guys, come on. And so, yeah, I'm very curious. I'm hoping that it's not another 15 days, which would be the 26th of September. I want to retire. Tomorrow I'm already planning to do my post 9/11 Let Evil Prevail video. But if somebody does happen to die in the coming days or whenever, I have the Curse of Joseph Smith video ready to go now, because that's what's involved. I look for patterns. And it's sad. The FBI refuses to do their job. Cops in Utah don't know how to do their job. The death of the mother and the children, that was a default decision. Nobody confessed to the crime, so we'll call it a murder-suicide. Seriously, I've done the videos, guys. The cops are always doing a public news announcement saying, we need your help in solving this crime, as to who done it. We have no clue. We don't know how to investigate. And it's sad and pathetic that America is descending into a coup because they failed to do their jobs. When TV shows and movies all are capable of investigating crime and solving crime with forensic investigation and a hot redhead who's the forensic investigator. Body of Proof. I just rewatched that the other last month. And And instead, we have FBI agents and police officers telling us that TV presents an unrealistic expectation of what actually goes on in the streets. You don't investigate? God, this is so pathetic. But this is how I've done my research. I investigate, use science, Socratic logical methodology. And so I've established as fact that this church is corrupt, criminal, and lying to us. I don't have to embellish, I don't have to lie to claim that the church is eating babies in the basement of the Salt Lake Temple. The prophets themselves confess to it. And I post their own words in my videos. When Nelson announces he's the Antichrist, the ex-foe Nevermos hear that they're lazy learners and lax disciples, having left the church. And they're offended, and they laugh. Whereas I heard, I'm the Antichrist, the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, not just Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith prophecy. It's because you guys don't get it. And so I had a commenter that I saw this morning on my U.S. Department of Justice condemns LDS Church and Family Services for abuse. That was an older video. And he's been around for a little while, and he's commenting, and I've not allowed his comments. And previously, they were harmless but lies. He knows the church is false, but he's now speculating about the church. He's now lying about the church. He's not investigating. He watches my videos, and it feeds his fantasy delusions about the church being false and criminal. That's why I can't allow his videos, his comments, to be posted. But he never had previously crossed the line until this morning, the one from this morning, which was last night. And I had to finally ban him. It's one thing to comment that the church is corrupt and criminal. It's another thing to lie about it. There is no need to lie about this church. Mormons don't understand this about me. I will not allow lies in my comments. Mormons don't get it. They believe that anything critical of the church is a lie. And I will not allow those comments. Mormons don't get it. But for ex-foe Nevermos not to get it either is disturbing. Because what he and others are doing are turning the church into victims. Because obviously he's lying. And if he got popular, people would fact check him and go, you're lying. And then the church then becomes the victim of his lies. And so anything else that may be true doesn't matter. He got caught in the lie against the church. He is now purposely lying to harm the church, making the church a victim. And I've been doing 8,000 videos from the words of the prophets themselves. You don't need to make something up about this church. They do it themselves. And I just am begging Expo Nevermost to stop it. Focus on what the prophets say, what the prophets document. Stop going to published authors. Stop speculating. Stop lying. So this particular time, he's talking about how in his stake or ward, I guess, he has people in government positions. And then he says, tell me which one of the three are trained to lie and don't tell the truth. They're always in secret, for sure. But that wasn't what I banned him for. That's what I would have just deleted him for. Because yes, we do see that Mormons in positions of a lawyer or a retired police officer or an active military officer are committing crimes. There's a bishop down in South, I don't know if it was St. George or somewhere around that area, who was a retired police officer who was soliciting underage girls for sex. And he claimed he was trying to help them. Former bishop and a former police officer got caught up in a sting with other people. And so lawyers, yeah, I was in Connecticut on my mission, New York mission, and so in Connecticut, New Canaan was where the church was, and it was built by the New Canaanites' money. So it was a very nice, expensive church building of brick. And there was scandal in which the rich people said, we paid for it, we only want our kind in this ward to access this building. State president said no. Nonetheless, that's where the football player guy from BYU, Steve Young, his parents live in that ward. Had dinner at his parents' place, but at Elders Quorum meetings, we have a lot of lawyers because they get paid a lot of money and thus can afford to live in the second richest city in America at the time, as it was. I don't know where it ranks today, but back then, I mean, I'm sure depreciation has hit them over the decades. But nonetheless, yeah, very expensive lawyers dominate the Elders Quorum. And so, yes, the jokes were flying in every Elders Quorum. And so, yeah, and then military officers, yeah, it hasn't been too long ago, was it? Or was it last year? With the incident up at the air base. But nonetheless, find out about that. So, I've been trying to warn you about this church and the danger that it poses to everybody. Thomas B. Marsh, his affidavit stating that the church intends to overthrow the government, not just of the United States, but eventually the world. That it was a future event. And so then you get Joseph Fielding Smith Sr., who got published in The Way to Perfection by Junior, in which we learn that we weren't supposed to learn. Because it says, the members of the church at large will not know of it. The saints cannot know of it. The world will not know of it. That's a secret combination, in case you're clueless. And what is the secret combination that they're plotting? The coup of America and the world. There will be a transfer of government authority from Lucifer? Is it? To Jesus? Is it? Remember, Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are Jewish. They're not Christian. Christianity is a fraud. A criminal fraud. They're terrorists. They're anti-Semites. And it's sad and pathetic that there are Southern Black Baptists for Jesus who apparently have forgotten that it was Christianity of the slave owners of their ancestors who forced them to be Christian. They were Islamic terrorists before. Converted to Jesus terrorists. And they've forgotten their roots until the draft occurred. And then Cassius Clay became Muhammad Ali. Whereas the whites in America fled up into Canada. People are just repeating history. They're not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on. And so when I did the videos covering what the church was up to with the rededication of the Washington, D.C. temple with the painting of Jesus' second coming in the clouds of glory, without the white horse, by the way, because the Book of Mormon got turned into literal history, that meant the terrorist coup plot from the Danites, from Joseph Smith Sr. And so Heber J. Grant, when he incorporated the corporation to use Mormons as cash cows, it's for the purpose of funding this coup, to hoard money to fund the coup. So the whistleblower confirms this. It says, we were told that the money is to be used for the second coming of Jesus, for Armageddon. He doesn't understand the bigger picture. He told his part. I merely assembled the part, put it into the bigger picture of what's going on, what this church is up to. That's what you do when you investigate. And so, yes, I know about Albert Pike and his letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. There are people who try to claim that it's a forged, fake document, and it's not real, and yet There, it's tied directly to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The inverted pentagram of Lucifer, with the doctrines of Lucifer, sexual abuse of women, just like Muslims, because Mormons are just like Muslims. They wear the underwear, just like Muslims. Islam wears the hijab as a symbol of their sexual abuse by their religious leaders. We're just the same. We're all terrorists. Abusing women. Sexually abusing women. And you get Relief Society presidents to stand up and say, Jesus is true, I wear my underwear proudly. She's being held hostage, extorted with a position of rank, and forced to read from a script that the terrorists are demanding her to read to the public. All of this for their kingdom back. And so today is 9/11, when John D. Lee assassinated women and children. The Mountain Meadows Massacre. It all has to do with that. The coup. So why? What happened? You gotta know your real church history. Brigham Young fled the country. Murdered to obtain this land. It was the kingdom. Then the very next year, the United States took it away from him. Sent them a letter saying, hey, we understand you're a leader in that area. You can be governor. From king to governor. Do you think he was happy? No. And so he murdered any federal officer that came to the valley. Or scared him out. There was a war going on. That's why the army was sent in here to delay the Salt Lake Temple building with the inverted pentagram on the keystone of the doors of the temple. His design. That was the headquarters temple. His design before he died. It was his design put on the Nauvoo temple. His design on the Logan temple. And thus taught his son, Don Carlos, who carved the Eagle Gate. They're Illuminati. John C. Bennett formed his own Illuminati when the Danites wouldn't take him back because he'd exposed them. You got caught and busted for polygamy. Get out. You're not welcome anymore. You're a loser. Any military official who gets caught is a loser. And so, Brigham Young, the very next year, 1849, incorporated the Perpetual Immigration Fund of Human Trafficking, Child Trafficking, Sex Trafficking, Child Sex Trafficking, because Section 119. Money's involved. Polygamy is involved, secretly still, until 1852, when Brigham Young officially incorporates the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's why this church is called that. That's why they had to forge documents and edit documents to prove that their name is the one true name. Pulling the exact same stunt that Roman Emperor Constantine did 1699 years ago. We just celebrated the anniversary, right, Catholics? They won't acknowledge it. They can't. Because if they acknowledge that the first creed of Christianity at Nicaea is the founding of Christianity, then it ruins the creed that says that the founding of Christianity was Jesus in the Roman period of time before them. And so thus why many Christians say that the first creed was technically Paul in the literal history documents that weren't literal history until the first creed of Christianity. People don't get it. People do not understand, and purposely, maliciously. Everything this church does is to this end, to overthrow the government. So the church, under Brigham, brought Mormons to the valley, and then after getting them to the valley, having polygamy openly in 1852 as well, now confessing that, yeah, we've been doing it in secret, we're now doing it publicly and open. Polygamy is the fastest way to increase the population. Brigham Young is increasing the numbers of Mormons. Because America took away his kingdom. He wants it back. And so, once they came to the valley, he then sent them north and south to create a wall to keep out other American settlers. It's designated as U.S. territory, but he is now trying to form a coup by placing Mormons on the land, north and south, to create a wall. And so 9/11, 1857, you've got settlers unaware of the Mormon threat. And they crossed into John D. Lee's Bishop territory. And so he knows. That's why he was sent there. Keep out settlers. Ordered by Brigham Young. That's why they sent them north and south. So he was doing what he was ordered to do, and he murdered them. Women and children. 9/11. That's a story nobody else is telling you. Because nobody else is doing their research. Nobody else knows how to do research anymore. Everything this church does is to make money. And I've done numerous videos. Remember 8K? Church news videos. Every weeknight, if there is something. I can make something up, but it's become a segment. That every time the church appears to be charitable and giving, it's all to profit off of. The church is making money, or they're investing to make money. So the museum in, was it Oklahoma? Oklahoma. Those dirty, rotten scoundrels. And Indians were, they built a museum. They were a little short on funding. Church stepped in. Here's some millions of dollars for you. Thank you. And the church said, hey, can we put in a little booth so that people can learn about their genealogy? Okay. And then people were being referred to the missionaries. What happens when you convert to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? You have to pay the church money. It is not a donation. It is not an option. You have to pay, or you can't participate as a Mormon. We all know this. I don't know why James Huntsman didn't know this. Probably because he's a billionaire of Daddy's trust fund. Dumbasses. You had the perfect opportunity. You're filthy rich. You can afford lawyers. You went out of state. And you botched it by calling it a donation. The great white rich hope for Mormons, and he botched it. It's a tongue twister, too. And so, Indians found out about that and were upset. You used us so that you can profit off of it. And they did the honorable thing and gave the money back. How many others have been bribed by the church? Whether it be regular Mormons, whether it be regular citizens, whether it be different groups, like the NAACP, whether it be governments that have taken the church's money and allowed the church to profit and didn't give it back to have integrity and honor. Everyone else. So even when the church locked me up for filing a petition for redress of grievances in the state of Utah in 2008, they rewarded the person who recommended to the judge that I be disappeared forever, with no trial, no hearings, no due process. I found the receipt that all 15 prophets had to unanimously agree on and sign the check. Which goes through the presiding bishop. He is ordered what to do. Remember the Ballard scandal with the presiding bishopric and the tithing list to Tim Ballard? And then he dies? This church ordered my assassination and paid for it. The Judas price to assassinate me. And you think I'm being a sensitive snowflake? Bleep you! This church is pissed that I am a prophet, a seer, a revelator, and a translator. Back then it was just translator. I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, and I knew Greek, and I knew Egyptian. And it's just unbelievable. I know what's coming. When Trump says there will be a bloodbath, he's ordering it. When Trump says he knows nothing about Project 2025, remember he does that with everybody who gets busted. Remember his lawyer who served time, didn't get pardoned? I don't know him. Really? He's your fixer. You talk to him all the time, and you don't know him? Jeffrey Epstein. We got the photos. You don't know him? It's what he does. And the deep state Dems keep falling for it. Oh, he lied. Oh, we caught him. We found audio. We found the video clip. You're falling for it. And so, the Book of Mormon tried to warn you. Nobody believes. If you're a Mormon, you don't believe that it's literal history. If you're an Expo Nevermo, the Book of Mormon has to be false. So you do not understand what it means here in 3 Nephi chapter 7. This was supposed to be in 2020. They failed. You're welcome, by the way. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land. But in this same year, yea, the 30th year, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the chief judge of the land. And the people were divided one against another, and they did separate one from another into tribes. We know those tribes, MAGA and Democrats. And then there's sub-tribes. The Jaredites, the Jacobites, the Josephites. And thus they did destroy the government of the land. The federal government. They yielded themselves unto the power of Satan. What is the doctrine of Lucifer, Mormons? Taking away agency. So why are you against women? Why are you against blacks? Why are you against LGBTQIAPO+C? I don't understand why nobody is interviewing J.D. Vance and saying, do you wish LGBTQ organization to include C for you, J.D.? We want to welcome you into our community. On the Couch, the SNL song. We'll see. The regulations of the government were destroyed because of the secret combination of the friends and kindreds of those who murdered the prophets. That's Joseph Smith and Hiram before it happened. These Danites are the secret combination. These Danites, since 1981, began working with the Council for National Policy. Everything. I even found the video clip of the fight between Senator Brown and Senator Hatch, as Senator Brown is referring to tinkle-down economics of Reagan. That Council for National Policy implemented. And Hatch was involved with it to get it passed. Everything can be tied to the church through that council, because the church has the Scousins as their representatives to make it happen, to give the church's orders, for those members to carry out the orders of the church, to coup America. So Kellyanne Conway, member. Steve Bannon, member. Leonard Leo, member. Heritage Foundation, member. Women's groups for Trump, members. There are corporations, there are lawyers, there are psychologists, there are evangelicals, extremist evangelicals, all doing their part. And the church does their part rather than Mark Skousen doing it. Or they'll notify Senator Lee or Senator Romney to get it done. So the Disrespect for Marriage Act, Senator Romney. The coup of America, yeah, like third great grandfather, like third great grandson. John D. Lee was involved in the coup of Joseph Smith's church in 1838. This is going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Taylor Swift endorsed Harris, so Trump will not win. And thus, he'll have to cheat. He'll have to threaten. Oh, he's already doing it. He's already sending out threats to the various electors and the polling stations. If you don't vote for me, your lives are forfeit. Bloodbath. And yeah, there's still some that the deep state Dem press post that they're in defiance. Trump will not intimidate us. Well, yeah, until you have a gun pointed at your head by one of Trump's followers who are obeying his will. This election will not happen. It'll be exactly what the Danites caused in 1838 in Daviess County's election. The church wants the land. They want to murder to get gain. And Mormons want it. They want to be the bad guys. Expo Nevermos don't think that the church would be that evil. They're just liars. When somebody's lying to you, they're covering up something. Even the rookie understands this. So, I think we've covered it all. We're over an hour, so there's the standard time frame. Lightning storm. Yeah, I think we covered it all. Okay. So yeah, I'm expecting tomorrow to do my video about retirement. And it's sad because YouTube's attacking me to keep me from posting videos for conference, knowing that I will get a whole bunch more views than normal. Already it's kicked in. Because I noticed YouTube, the end of August, purposely tanking my views. As there would be an hour oopsie where I'd see that I'd be getting over 100, over 200 views for that 1 hour, which means that YouTube is purposely suppressing my channel videos. And that if YouTube treated me equally, yeah, I'd have more than the 200 per hour, because they'd have to stop it within that hour. And so it's unclear as to when. There's no minute by minute. It's always hour by hour. And so clearly I would be more popular. The 40,000 that I got should have perpetuated. And that's why they banned my channel, forced me to go to TWG, because that automatically tanks my views. I've been banned from posting, and so the algorithm purposely censors all the rest of my videos to keep other people from knowing about me. It just tanks me. It causes damage and harm to me. And they've been doing that over and over again. Whereas we're all finding out that they support terrorist activities. They support lies and miseducation and misinformation that are harmful to the public. They themselves are bullies, not just endorsing and embracing bullies. And money is involved. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is involved. Because remember, Nelson got up and said, hey, I've ordered all of the search engines on YouTube and social media to conform and comply to us. And thus causing more SEC violations because they're stockholders. That's why they were able to put the pressure on all of these companies, search engine companies and social media companies, because the church owns the majority of stocks. And our government is not doing anything to stop them. As apparently somebody's trying to steal a car. So yeah, this is my day today. Went to Graywell with the new stuff that I had collected. This one was Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman. These are upgrade videos. And so after I get the upgrade videos, then I'll have to go through and find out what I missed, which mostly came from the 6 years that I was disappeared by the church to murder me, and having paid the woman. And I brought it up in the court hearing. She was ordered to dismiss my case, purposely assigned after having been fired to dismiss my case. Judge first. First fired magistrate federal judge. And they purposely kept my case out of the news. They covered Gaddy versus COP in the news. But my lawsuit, nope. They would not have it discussed. Kay Birmingham lost her case. Her super knowledge about the church with only one published book failed. No, duh. Her book was all about what other people's hearsay reports were. She did no investigative research in any of that. She only assembled the doubt promotions and put it all together in one book. Similar to Oakes's book about the Carthage jail incident. He assembled only the faith-promoting stuff and published the book. And so, yeah, he acknowledges that Joseph Smith had the gun, but he retells the narrative rather than sticking to the facts of the case, letting the facts lead to the conclusion of what happened. Church will never tell us that Brigham Young ordered the hit and paid the Judas money to murder Joseph and Hiram, and purposely sent in backup in case the mob failed. And they failed. And the backup didn't. That's why every year I do the tribute to Joseph Smith. I did the research. I found Joseph Smith was framed and blamed. And it's simple. He's Jewish. He's not Christian. That's all you need to know, X-Phone Never Mows. But you can't acknowledge it because you're Christian. Because it now means that Constantine is the villain. That Christianity are the enemy of the people. Not just Islam. They're a different branch off of Christian evil. And that's why Christians don't last long on my channel, especially those pastors. They think they're going to come and sneak me away to their Christianity. Just as Mormons do to Christians and others who are investigating the church. And ex-Mormons, they'll stalk them too, because the guys want them as a polygamous wife. Steal you away from your heathen husband. You do know that, ex-Molex, right? That's why Kwaku and the Saints Unscripted were sexually attacking you. Because you're a haughty female. And they have no problems murdering your husband and forcing you into sex bondage. That's how evil these Mormons are. You know from your own family how evil they are. And their blood. Now get Mormons who are not blood, except maybe cousins. One of the hazards of polygamy. You get all these stepchildren. That interbreed. But no. I've seen it. The creepy comments. The attempts to try to pretend to be friendly, stalking your videos. I know their behavior because it's the same white supremacist Christian nationalist behavior of the peers I grew up with. That's why I only prefer to hang out with women. I want nothing to do with men. And only my 12 apostles do I allow. So, alrighty. Dear God. But yeah, I just trying to save lives. It's all in vain. All in vain. So yeah, that's my plan. In case you're confused. When any of the prophets die, it'll be the Curse of Joseph Smith video. Because Ballard, yeah, that was a curse of Joseph Smith. That's wild. It fit the pattern. But, yeah, the latter days are over with, October 2nd. In case you missed those videos, you're still listening. Scrolls are all wrapping up. And thanks to my apostle James for sending me a pretty picture of the scrolls being rolled up. And I'm not doing a countdown for the bloodbath for the election. This was designed for religious purposes. Oh, I don't have that picture anymore. I transferred it yesterday. Okay. And so, yeah, tomorrow morning, it is intended to be my final video. But like last year, didn't work out so well, did it? Alrighty. All right.